Hey everyone, for this presentation I researched multimodal learning and collaboration, and I'm going to present on the impacts of collaboration in multimodal learning. About my research, I encourage you to pause this video and to think about how could multimodal learning help students collaborate. The first case study that I researched shows 4 students who were required to work together in groups of 4 to create a structure that was capable of supporting a book. They used multimodal learning, and it was used to study a variety of aspects relevant to the development in complex collaborative environments. Successful groups in this study had a strong collaboration among the participants. Groups with more expertise showed a collaborative activity that was 4 times higher in relation to solving problems and 4 times greater in getting the correct answer. And participants proposed alternatives and improvements based on what they had previously proposed in their groups due to collaboration with each other. In the second study that I researched, it was in a history class where students were encouraged to use multimodal representations to complete 4 different tasks. In this study, there were 2 groups. One was the visual text representation group. They were encouraged to use multimodal forms for their presentations, and the second was a text representation group, and they were encouraged only to use text. The students who added pictures to text benefited learning in most cases, as pictures can be processed both verbally and visually. Students who worked in collaborative groups to construct visual text representations that combined pictures, diagrams, and historical concepts gained more knowledge than just collaboratively reading the text together. Students who integrated different visual text representations into their overall representation gained more knowledge than just reading the text. Students who were in visual groups scored higher on the post-tests than students who just read the text with their groups. Students who integrated visual textual representations in their tasks also outperformed students on the post-test as well. Visual textual representations resulted in a higher learning outcome than just reading the text. A combination of text and visual representations integrated into a wide overview had a more positive effect than the groups that just read the text. In the second study that I researched as well, they used concept mapping as a collaborative activity that encouraged communication and negotiation for meaning. This engaged the students in the discourse and required the groups to make products that focused on the principles, and it stimulated discussion. Collaborative construction of representations has rendered positive results for both learning processes and learning outcomes. In the third study that I researched, they used multimodal learning to scaffold collaborative learning groups. The multimodal learning was proven to lead better understanding and reflect on the process of collaborative learning and use scaffolds more skillfully to help support collaborative learning. Using multimodal learning helps provide a deep understanding of learning in collaborative groups when the teacher scaffolds the information. This can promote both social and cognitive engagement as well. Multimodal collaboration in STEAM education transforms teacher-led learning to student-centered learning as well. Highly controlled cognitive scaffolds also help groups to understand and apply the content from the instructor and to solve the problems collaboratively in cooperative learning groups. In the last study that I researched, it discussed multilingual students who created descriptive writing pieces using multimodal learning. Students collaborated with their descriptive writing pieces with their peers. As the students collaborated, they became aware of their weaknesses and problems in their writings by reading each other's writing pieces. In one of the students' descriptive writing pieces, she also made it into a dramatic performance. The students worked together in groups to decide how they would like to present their narrative and how they would like it to be performed to the group. Based on my research, some of the key findings that I found were working collaboratively using multimodal learning allowed participants to propose alternatives and to improve their learning in a group. It also encouraged communication and negotiation for meaning within their groups. This resulted in positive results for learning processes and learning outcomes. This allowed students to gain more knowledge, and this led to a higher learning outcome. Students who used multimodal forms of learning outperformed the students who were using just textual representation for their learning. When teachers scaffold multimodal learning skillfully, this helps to support collaborative learning in the classroom and leads to a more student-centered form of learning rather than a traditional lecture form of learning. Students also become aware of their weaknesses and problems in their writing when they are collaborating with others in groups. Based on my research, I encourage you to pause this video and to think about how will you use multimodal learning to help students in your classroom to collaborate together in groups. Here are my references. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my video.